So I have 40 students. They're in my History 346, which is Women in America, the Western Experience. And they're collaborating with the Idaho State Historical Society to look at their collections, photograph them, research them, and then create this online exhibit that details the history of Idaho women's creativity. So I might ask them a question that they then need to research using their iPads. So for example, we were reading about Japanese-American internment in the American West, and so the students had to use their iPads to search through different databases that have different kinds of primary sources: video, audio, text, documents, all different kinds of stuff, and find evidence that sort of supports the arguments that they're beginning to make. And what's really great about that is that usually in the past, if I'm teaching, I put one image up in front of the class for all of the students to see. And they're kind of limited to talking about just the one image that's up in front of them. With this, they can find the images that are of interest to them and then investigate those. There is one book that we're reading that's in the public domain, and so they're able to download that one for free at archive.org. And so I know some of them are doing that and reading that book. So I have two research questions. The first one is, how can mobile devices increase the depth and breadth of student collaborations within a course? And by that I mean both inside the classroom and outside. So as the semester progresses, I'll be asking the students more about how they're using the iPads in their research for this final group project, this online exhibition. A lot of women's history, particularly Western women's history, is not well documented in traditional secondary sources. It's not necessarily written about in the textbooks the students have seen. And so they have to use letters and artifacts and well, especially in this class, artifacts. And so I'm trying to see how you can combine these really old artifacts, in some cases from the 19th century, with this 21st century technology, and see what that does to history learning, both in terms of what the students are learning, but also what kind of exhibition they put out for public learning. One issue that comes up is the cost to students, and so in this program it's free. So the students are loaned the iPad for the semester. But in the future, I mean, that's not necessarily sustainable for the university to do that for all of the students. But I definitely can envision a future in which the students are required to buy the iPad, and then in exchange the faculty in the library assist them in finding ebooks or lower cost resources, free resources online. Now, that's easier said than done, but it's also easier, I think, in some of the humanities disciplines. If you're thinking about the languages, history, literature, a lot of those materials are available online in either a free or less expensive form. But I think that there's definitely a balance that can be struck, and possibly even cost savings, in having students purchase these devices and then not have to buy the full big print textbooks. So far so good. I mean, it's a little more than halfway through the semester. So the students have been out photographing the objects. I haven't yet seen the photographs they've taken, so I'm hoping that they're of decent quality. But they're, the students are relatively engaged. It depends on the group, but for the most part, I think it's going really well.